Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is from Canto 1, Chapter 16, Text 34. And it will be given by none other than Her Grace, Mother Gita, Gita Devidasi from Atlanta. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, and well, it's all yours. Please start. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahams Parivrajakacarya Stotra Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnavrind Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrind Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय समेत भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
All glories to Guru.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse number 34. Yo vai mamati bharam asuravam sarajanam akshauhini shatam apanudat atmatantraha Tvam dustham unapadam atmani paurushena sampadayan yadushu ramyam abhiprat angam. Yaha, he who, why, certainly, mama, mine, atibharam, too burdensome, asuravamsha, unbelievers, rajanam of the kings, akshauhini, one military division, shatam, hundreds of such divisions, apanudat, extirpated, atmatantra, self-sufficient, tvam, unto you, tustham, put into difficulty, unapadam, devoid of strength to stand, atmani, internal, paurushena, by dint of energy, sampadayan, for executing, Yadushu in the Yadu dynasty, Ramyam, transcendentally beautiful, Abhiprat, accepted, Angam, body. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by the undue military phalanxes arranged by atheistic kings, and I was relieved by the grace of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, you were also in a distressed condition, weakened in your standing strength, and thus he also incarnated by his internal energy in the family of the Yadus to relieve you. Purport. The Asuras want to enjoy a life of sense gratification, even at the cost of others' happiness. In order to fulfill this ambition, the Asuras, especially atheistic kings or executive heads, try to equip themselves with all kinds of deadly weapons to bring about a war in a peaceful society. They have no ambition other than personal aggrandizement, and thus Mother Earth feels overburdened by such undue increases of military strength. By increase of the Asuric population, Those who follow the principles of religion become unhappy, especially the devotees or devas. In such a situation, the personality of Godhead incarnates to vanquish the unwanted asuras and to re-establish the true principles of religion. This was the mission of Lord Sri Krishna, and he fulfilled it. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for coming for this Bhagavatam class. We've been hearing the conversation between Mother Earth and in the form of a cow, and religion in the form of bull, that is dharma. So here in this verse, we see that Mother Earth is feeling overburdened, but gets relief by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And she's talking about dharma, that is in the form of a bull, is feeling weakened, And because of all this, irreligion spreading, with earth being overburdened and dharma also feeling so weak, Krishna appeared in the Yadu dynasty. And this we've heard in the Bhagavad Gita also, where Krishna says, that he comes whenever there is decline in religious principles to reestablish dharma. So we see Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago just to remove this burden from Mother Earth. Mother Earth was feeling very, very overburdened. And also to reestablish dharma, which is religion. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about, the asuras who want to enjoy sense gratification. And Prabhupada is saying at any cost. They want to enjoy at any cost, which means they don't mind going to any extent just to be able to enjoy. So here we see that this happens when a person is wanting to enjoy at any cost. That means uncontrolled senses. Only when a person has no control over the senses, that is when, they want to do anything and everything, just like they say, beg, borrow, or steal, to fulfill one's desires. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 62, it says, Dhyato Vishayan Pumsa Sangas Tesu Pajayate. Sangat Sanjayate Kama, Kamat Krodha Vibhajayate. See, Krishna is explaining that when the senses come in contact with sense objects, there's immediate attraction. Then a person starts contemplating on that sense object. I want it. And then there's attachment. And then that leads to lust. And when lust develops in the heart because of uncontrolled senses, there is anger. What? It didn't get fulfilled. I wanted this and I didn't get it. So there is anger. And with anger comes delusion. There is bewilderment of memory, Krishna says. And then intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, Krishna says one person falls down. Where? Into the material pool again. So you see, so much stress is given in the Bhagavad Gita also to control the senses. If we don't control the senses, then nothing is going to fall in place. Then it's just going to be going down, down, down in the material pool. So here in this verse 62 of chapter 2, Krishna talks about dhyato. Dhyato means meditate, contemplate. And the reason the senses are uncontrolled is because the mind is not under control. Why is the mind not under control? Because the intelligence is not sharpened by the, sword of knowledge, Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita. So that means it's the responsibility of the intelligence to gather knowledge, to control mind so that the senses can come under control. Sharpen it. Why do we have these classes in the morning? And, there are so many classes going on Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all over the world. Why did Srila Prabhupada give us this morning program where he put Bhagavatam class in the morning? We need the knowledge. It's only when we will take the knowledge, then our intelligence will become sharpened. Only then mind and senses can come under control. So that is why association is very important. You see, if we take a book of Srila Prabhupada and sit down to read, we will definitely get benefit out of it, but if we are doing it in association of devotees, there can be a conversation, there can be a discussion, there can be exchange of realizations, because supposing I am reading Srila Prabhupada's book, I understand something, but when I'm an association, that devotee can give his or her perspective, the realization, and then we say, aha, I never thought about it in this way. But of course, we definitely need to take on this knowledge on a daily basis. Just like when we are diseased, we take the medicine every day as per the prescription. Why? Because we want to get well. So similarly in spirituality also, we need to take this medicine on a daily basis, which is one Bhagavatam class a day without fail. An apple a day keeps doctor away. One Bhagavatam class a day keeps Maya away. This is how we can protect ourselves from Maya. You see, so here Prabhupada is talking about the atheists, he's talking about those who have uncontrolled senses, always engaged in sense gratification. But sense gratification is for animals. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, chewing the chewed. Have done this life after life after life, but we're still continuing to chew the chewed. Now, this birth, we've got an opportunity to break this cycle of chewing the chewed. If we take up Krishna consciousness seriously and progress. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about asuras, those interested only in what? Increasing their power, increasing their wealth, increasing their reputation, and all this is for themselves. And Prabhupada says that's why so many wars are taking place. And this is all for personal benefit. Why do people go into politics? Because there is name, fame, power, wealth. And it is all for personal sense gratification. You see? There's so much ignorance around. Just go around and, there's this, I was shocked. I was reading somewhere that there was this gentleman in Mexico. He got married to an alligator. Can you believe that? And that picture was the alligator was dressed in a white gown. And he was carrying the alligator to the church to get married to the alligator. What kind of consciousness is that? There was another lady who got married to an AI, artificial intelligence, probably in a robot or whatever, and was asked, what is the reason? Said, no maintenance, no interference, full freedom. I can do what I want to do. There's no one to tell me, do this or do that, sit here or whatever. There's complete freedom. What kind of consciousness is that? Ignorance. So much ignorance. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he came. He took so many hardships at that advanced age. He came just to give us Krishna consciousness, give us a process by which we can change our consciousness. Krishna is our whole self, the body also. Krishna is the whole body, the mind, the intelligence. So it's important that we take full advantage of it. We don't know if we will get another opportunity like this, a golden opportunity like this. See? So here in this verse and in the purport, we can see there's focus so much on sense gratification. There's a phrase, what's in it for me? Okay, you want to be friends with me? I need to know, what can I get out of you? How are you going to benefit me? What are the perks that I get by being friends to you? It's all about what's in it for me. Everything about I, me, and mine. I consciousness instead of Krishna consciousness. I'm not sure if I have told you this story before, but there was this husband who was very ill, and the wife took him to the doctor. And after examination, the doctor asked the husband to wait outside at the reception area while he talked to the wife. So now the wife was very concerned, and so was husband. Husband was very fearful. I don't know what kind of disease I have, how much time do I have to live? So the wife was seriously listening to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, there is a way to cure your husband. She said, oh, I'll do anything. He said, okay, here's a list of things that if you do, your husband will be fine. So what were the things? He told her, never get angry at him. Don't make him do any chores. Do not argue with him. Do whatever he wants and just see he will be fine very soon. She said, thank you so much, doctor. Thank you. You are God sent. So when she came out, the husband, of course, was very nervous and wanted to know, what did the doctor say? What did the doctor say? And she said, oh, honey, you are going to die. She did not want to, go through that whole list, that, oh, he won't do any chores. I can't get angry at him. I can't argue with him. That's not going to work. This is sense gratification. What do I want? I, me, and mine. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining that this is demoniac nature. The asuras, they want to enjoy even at the cost of others' happiness. It doesn't matter to them what is the suffering that their enjoyment is going to bring to others. It's just, I want to be happy at any cost. I don't care if someone is happy or not. So this is what is going on in this Kali Yuga. And we have heard family life is not for sense gratification, it's for self-realization. Everyone in the family should understand what is their duty. The prime duty is to be Krishna conscious. You see, sense gratification, Prabhupada says, is rampant. Everyone is running for sense gratification. How can I get some pleasure? What is it that I can find that is going to give me so much pleasure? It doesn't matter if it puts someone else into trouble or inconvenient anyone. No, I want to be happy. But devotees, they want to see everyone happy. They want to spread Krishna consciousness. They want to preach to as many as possible so that the other people can understand the purpose of human form of life. The devotees want to help others. They want, of course, they can help only those who want to be helped, right? We cannot force anyone. Krishna consciousness cannot be forced into anyone's head. It's a personal choice. Krishna has given us that minute independence to decide, yes, right? Sarvasichaham hridi sanivishto matah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He says, I am there in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So now he's giving us this choice. And then there are some who make good use of this choice. They become Krishna conscious, and there are many who just don't want to remember. They want to forget Krishna. And Krishna fulfills our decisions, whatever decisions we make. What are the devotees trying to do when they preach? They are trying to wean people away from sense gratification and bring them more towards self-realization, because that is the purpose of life. And Krishna, he's there in the heart to guide us. And, is waiting for us, Prabhupada says, to turn our face to the Supreme Lord within the heart. So we are very, very, very fortunate to be Krishna conscious. Attitude of gratitude. If we can just, be grateful on a daily basis for having access to this treasure house knowledge of Krishna consciousness. We are so fortunate that we are introduced to Krishna consciousness. It's Srila Prabhupada who revived it. Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to revive, give us the, Yuga Dharma, which is chanting the holy names of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada, he explained to us in such a simple way that it is not at all difficult to follow. So we see from this verse, whenever there is rise in a religion, Krishna comes down. He incarnates to vanquish all the asuras. Of course, 5,000 years ago, he came in his original form, the Shyam Sundar form. And so Krishna had to come to do what? To remove all the unwanted asuras. Srila Prabhupada is talking so much about asuras. Who would like to have an asura in their life? I don't think anyone would like an asura in their life. Nobody. And thanks to Krishna, he comes down to help us to remove those asuras from this material world so that he can re-establish dharma, principles of religion. And Prabhupada says that he comes with that mission in mind and he fulfills it. He's a Supreme Lord. He can definitely do whatever he wants to do. So when he has this mission that he wants to accomplish, definitely he fulfills it. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, the very last verse, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvalokam maheshwara suhridam sarvabhutanam gnatvam shantim rich. Suhridam. He is our best friend. He's our benefactor. He's a suhridam. How many best friends do we have in this material world? We may have 1, 2, 3, 5, not many. Yes, we may have many friends, but best friend? Who is the best friend? Best friend is one who guides us on the right path. If we are doing something wrong, catches us and let us know that we are doing something wrong. And who is better than Krishna? Best friend. That's why he's in the heart to guide us, to show us the way, besides, of course, being the witness to all our activities. And he's a benefactor. And he wants us to be always happy. And we can be happy only when we are peaceful. And Krishna says, this is a peace formula, I'm telling you. If you understand that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead of everyone, then surrender unto me, follow my instructions that lead to peace and happiness. And Prabhupada says happiness is only in the spiritual world. We are like fish out of the water. We are from the spiritual world, but right now we are in the material world. So we are like fish out of the water. What is our position? Our constitutional position is to be the servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarup Hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. Nitya means eternal, always. Not we are not, morning das, like, Bhagavatam time das, that, okay, we surrender to Krishna for 1 hour every morning during the Bhagavatam class. No. Nitya das, eternal servants. So we see in this verse that Mother Earth is feeling overburdened. And why? Not only because of all these atheists and asuras and, irreligious activities going on, not only just that, but also because the devotees are unhappy. When there is rise in irreligion, then, the devotees, they are the ones who become unhappy. And that also is a burden on Mother Earth. She wants devotees she wants everybody to be happy. But based on the activities, demoniac activities, how is it possible to be happy? So Krishna, he comes down whenever there is rise in irreligion, dharma. Religious principles, they are meant for human beings. They're not for animals, aquatics, trees, or birds, or anyone. No, it is for human beings, so that there is harmony and discipline. That is the reason. Why do we follow the, traffic rules? That stop at red, go in green, follow all the traffic rules, follow them. Why? So that there are no accidents. Everyone follows the rules, the laws, the state laws, and everyone is happy. But unfortunately, people don't really follow especially the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, fish, eggs, onion, garlic, no intoxication, tea, coffee, no illicit sex, no gambling. Most people don't follow that. But these are religious principles. Because these principles, if one does not follow these 4 principles strictly, then the 4 pillars of religion become very shaky. Then our spiritual lives become very shaky. Very nicely, Srila Prabhupada explains that if a person is eating meat, then that person cannot be merciful. If a person is engaged in illicit sex, that person cannot be clean. If a person is engaged in intoxication, a person cannot perform austerities which are required. If a person is engaged in gambling, a person cannot be honest. So you see, these 4 very strong pillars of spirituality will become very weak if a person does not follow these 4 regulative principles. So these regulative principles are there so that there is harmony and discipline. And these 4 regulative principles helps one to become pure. Purification is necessary. And when one follows these 4 regulative principles, then one does not live like an animal. You see, human life is not to live like animals. It's meant for purification. It's necessary for self-realization. Just like when we are diseased, we go to the doctor will give us a prescription medication, but will also give us some instructions. Don't eat this, don't drink this, do that. There are do's and don'ts. And they are there for our benefit so that we can get rid of the disease and purify ourselves. Similarly, in spirituality, we follow these 4 regulative principles to purify our existence. And Srila Prabhupada has given us such a simple process for self-realization. Very simple. Like he says, what is the difficulty? I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture on Saturday where he was saying, what is the difficulty? There's no difficulty. His whole lecture was about intoxication. He said people are so intoxicated. They're intoxicated because of lust. They're intoxicated, with wealth and power and beauty and fame and everything. Intoxication. And when I'm sure we have experienced watching some people who are really intoxicated. What is their situation? They don't talk sense. They talk anything that comes out from their mouth. They are unable to control their body because they keep swinging and there's no control over their body because they're so intoxicated. That it's almost like an animal. intelligence is lost. So Srila Prabhupada was talking all through his lecture about intoxication. Now, intoxication could be, for acquiring a lot of wealth, or reaching a powerful position, or controlling. These are all different kinds of intoxication. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying, what is the difficulty? It's such a simple process. Like he says, chant and be happy. But how to chant is $1 million question. Like Parikshit Prabhu was saying, chanting on autopilot. I just love that sentence, and I'm using it everywhere, everywhere. We had a Chaitanya Charitamrita class on Saturday morning, and I used that, and I could see everyone was like, wow, yes, but this is what we generally do, most of us do. So these asuras, their senses are uncontrolled. Their senses are wandering everywhere to find what can I get to enjoy, what can I see that I can enjoy, what can I eat that I can enjoy. So they are just wandering. So they need to control these senses. How? By following the process of Krishna consciousness. It's not that difficult. Attentive chanting, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, associating with devotees, preaching, serving in the temple. These are some of the activities that can help us to control our senses. I was listening to this lecture by Janardhan Maharaj when he was visiting Atlanta. And he was saying that when we are chanting and we are touching our beads, we are actually touching the lotus feet of Krishna. And I was like, what? Imagine that consciousness. When we are chanting, we are touching our beads, we are actually touching the lotus feet of Krishna. How much more concentration we would require for that? And it is chanting who can help us to control our senses. Because senses, they don't really do anything until and unless desires develop. They act upon desires. Maharaj was saying there are 22,000 desires every day. 22,000 desires. Can we fulfill them all? Probably none of them, or maybe one or two. But if these desires can be dovetailed to Krishna, with that service attitude, then there's going to be advancement. So our spiritual advancement is dependent on basically our service attitude. Chanting also is a service. So if we start chanting with that service attitude, then there's going to be advancement. So there's sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Of course, the topmost is prema bhakti, but at least we can start with sadhana bhakti. And if a devotee surrenders to the Lord with full faith, then there is definitely going to be advancement in Krishna consciousness. Talking about full faith in Krishna, I have started reading Srimad Bhagavatam once again, and I've reached 9th canto. And in chapter number 21, I was reading about King Rantideva. He had full faith in the Supreme Lord. He knew that whatever happens in our lives is an arrangement of Krishna. He had that much faith, full faith in Krishna. So one day he fasted for 48 days. His whole family fasted for 48 days. No food, no water. And so as he was about to break his fast after 48 days, he had all the prasadam in front of him. He had water in front of him. So, excuse me. As he was about to break the fast, a Brahmana came who was very hungry. So he offered the prasadam to the Brahmana. And then afterwards, a Shudra came. And Shudra also was hungry. But Rantideva, he did not think, oh, well, I've been fasting for 48 days. I'm feeling so weak. I need to eat. My family needs to eat. No. He knew that this Shudra also is part of Krishna, so he offered prasadam. Then a guest came with dogs, and he offered prasadam to them also, because he knew respect is to be given to all living entities. Even the dogs have Paramatma in their heart. Now, finally, only water was left for him. Only for one person, water left for one person. Now he has his whole family he needs to feed and, quench their thirst. But here, only probably one glass of water was left. And a Chandala came. Rantideva, he was on the verge of dying because of, hunger and thirst. But he offered that water to the Chandala, because he knew this is all arrangement of Krishna. And then he noticed that Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva appeared in front of him. They told him that they had disguised themselves to show us from this pastime that full dependence on Krishna is very beneficial. It is absolutely wonderful to be completely dependent on Krishna. Have full faith in the Supreme Lord. And when Rantideva heard that, the first thing that came to his mind was to meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. He was a pure devotee. He was free from all material desires. Maya could not attract him. We fast one day on Ekadashi. Of course, then also we eat a feast, of special Ekadashi prasadam. I don't know, but maybe just a few devotees do Nirjala on Ekadashi, every Ekadashi. But most devotees, because they have to go to work, take care of family, do preaching, travel, whatever, they eat Ekadashi prasadam. But one day of fasting becomes a huge austerity for us. We are waiting for the next day. When is the break time? Oh, it's 7:30. Oh, it's 7:30. Let's break the fast. Eat some grains. I need some energy. Here he was fasting for 48 days and was still ready to give up all the prasadam, all the water to the guests who came. Why? Because he had full faith in Krishna. He knew whatever Krishna does is for the good of everybody. And Krishna wanted to teach us through Rantideva how to fully surrender to Krishna. And Rupa Goswami explains, it starts with Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivriti. First, one needs to have basic faith based on the scriptures that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, when we have that basic faith, when we, associate with devotees, sadhu sangha, then we start performing bhajana kriya, which means we start practicing Krishna consciousness. And once we start doing that, then there is anartha nivriti. All the unwanted things from the heart, they go away. So the whole purpose of this verse today is that one should not be engaged, totally focused on sense gratification, but one should try to become self-realized. We noticed from this verse and the purport that how the asuras, they are so much engaged in sense gratification that they, perform activities which are against the scriptures. And not only that, they are also so much into I consciousness, I, me, and mine. And that is the reason there was so much irreligious practices that now the earth was feeling overburdened and dharma also was feeling very weak. The verse once again, excuse me. O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by the undue military phalanxes arranged by atheistic kings, and I was relieved by the grace of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, you were also in a distressed condition, weakened in your standing strength, and thus he also incarnated by his internal energy in the family of the Yadus to relieve you. I'll stop here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother Gita, for such a wonderful class. And I apologize for joining 15 minutes late. But what I've heard, it's really bringing up a couple of questions for me, but I would like to ask the devotees if you have any questions. Yes, Prakshit, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you again, Mother Gita, for a very nice lecture. You, when you were talking, mentioned about the regulative principles, the importance of keeping the regulative principles. Around this con, many times, well, quite a number of times, I've heard devotees have a little debate, for lack of a better word, over chocolate. And so rather than even come along discussion about this, I just would like you to comment on it, because my understanding is chocolate contains caffeine. So what is your, not take, but commentary on it particularly? Hare Krishna.
Yes, you're right. Chocolate does contain caffeine, even though it might be in a smaller degree, but it does have caffeine. And especially when we took initiation, we took a vow that we are not going to, take an intoxication, anything that has caffeine like tea, coffee also. So yes, it is very important that devotees don't eat chocolate because of caffeine. Prabhupada says that even a slight amount of caffeine can affect our intelligence. You see, then it becomes difficult for us to understand the spiritual knowledge. So even that minute amount of caffeine is not good. So, I mean, nowadays it's not difficult to get that same chocolate taste from carob powder. It's the same. I make cakes with carob powder and there's no difference. You can't really make a difference. And I'm sure online one can find many recipes how to make chocolate with carob powder. The candy, chocolate candy. It's not that difficult at all. So.
Thank you very much for commenting on it. We use carob at our house also.
Yes,
have a big bag of it. But
in fact, now what they call chocolate chips. Now they have carob chips.
Yes. Yes.
That you can put in cookies. Yeah, it's available. Yes.
But come to think of it, chocolate, say, even if we were not Krishna conscious and if we ate chocolate, it's not good for health. Sugar is a killer. One should not take any form of sugar. It's not good health wise. So yeah, chocolate, no.
Thank you, Mother. Krishna Smarna Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandvat Pranams. So Mataji, you said, a lot of people have desires, uncontrollable sense gratification, no control over senses. But you said because they have no control over senses, because they don't have knowledge. And the knowledge comes by listening. I mean, you hear lecture here, you listen lecture there, or something, you participate. But, what do you say, when people don't want to listen, don't want to come, don't want to join anything? So how do you convince them, or how do you tell them, they don't even want to listen? So how do you deal with them?
Yeah, we come across such people on a daily basis. So Prabhupada gives a very nice analogy. He says, it is easy to wake up a person who's asleep, but it's impossible to wake up someone who's pretending to be asleep. See? So that is the situation that, yes, there will be many people whom we know we will reach out to and talk to them, and they are still not interested because they are stubborn. There's nothing we can do, but at least we've done our job by giving them that opportunity to become Krishna conscious. But if they don't, that means they are misusing their minute independence. There's nothing we can do. You see, based on their past karma, they get an opportunity to become Krishna conscious or to continue from where they left off in spirituality. But if they choose, see, it's their choice. They make the decision. If they choose to let go of that opportunity, there's nothing we can do. And you're right, we can understand only when we hear, we listen carefully on a daily basis. That knowledge helps us to improve in Krishna consciousness. But as far as others are concerned, like Prabhupada says, we can take the horse to the water, but we cannot force the horse to drink. You see, so we can give them, I'm not calling them horses, but I'm just giving an example that we can do our job by taking them to the water of Krishna consciousness. But then it's up to them whether they want to, put themselves in that situation where they want to become Krishna conscious. This is their choice. But we can try. We can still try. I hope that helps, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Very nice question. Anyone else has a question to ask? Mother, okay. Towards the last points of your class, Mother, you were really stressing the point of faith. And sometimes I come across such questions from, newcomers or spiritual seekers, who are really trying to find something. And then they ask me this question and I reflect upon myself. And for me is, growing up in a Christian home, it's been instilled in me. And then switching it from Christianity to Krishna consciousness, because we already have that understanding that there is a God, and we were taught how to have a, personal relationship with God and, from a Christian background, and then switching it to Krishna consciousness, which is much more in depth. But for someone, Mother, who is trying to build that relationship with God, trying to build that faith, when they were never taught at all how to do that, how can we help them to really find that when they were never ever taught how to do that or where to find it?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, the fact that we are coming in contact with them is their good fortune. Because of their past piety, they're getting an opportunity through us to revive their Krishna consciousness, which is dormant, right? So the best way would be, as they say, actions speak louder than words. So our behavior, that's why Prabhupada says exemplary behavior. Very, very important, because people learn more from our behavior than what we say. You see? So if, just like they say, even for parents, if they want to teach their children, they have to set good examples, because children, they watch what the parents are saying and doing, and based on that, they have their own perception. So exemplary behavior helps a lot. That's why Prabhupada says purity is the force. When the devotee is working towards purity by attentive chanting, reading, etc., then the preaching also has effect. Preaching is not about blurting out what we have learned. Oh, today I learned the shloka, so let me just blurt it out to someone to impress that, okay, I know it's in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse this. They are not, mostly they are watching our behavior. They are watching our tone. They are watching the state of our consciousness more than the knowledge that we have. So I don't know if that helps, but exemplary behavior goes a long way,
But reminds me of Balabhadra Prabhu's comment, example, wait, is better than precept, I think is what he says.
Example is
that's right.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yes, Mother. Thank you for bringing that. Yeah, thank you, Mother. That helps. Thank you. Any other questions from devotees? Such a powerful class, such an amazing class. And I had to read the purport 3-4 times to really catch the point of what it actually meant in the translation, where Srila Prabhupada says the discussion that he also had to incarnate by his internal energy in the family of the others to relieve you. And this is the cow, Mother Earth, is telling Dharma that Krishna had to take birth in the Yadav family just to relieve save the devotees and kill the miscreants. So I had to read that several times to kind of grasp the whole understanding that how merciful the Lord is, Mother, that, and I'm trying to think who gave the class last week, or did I hear it from somewhere? I'm trying to remember, where the speaker was saying that, Krishna did come in Kali Yuga in the form of his holy name. We're just expecting to see Krishna everywhere. And I was it Chandramani Swami? I don't remember, somewhere, but I heard it from somewhere. Or was it Prikshit? I don't remember who. Someone said it.
Not to brag, but yeah, it's me, my class.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You took it from somewhere. I heard it from some speaker last week, how powerful it is that,
yes, some speaker.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it that way.
That's all right. I'm just pulling your leg.
Okay. It was Rath Yatra prep last week. My brain was dead, but at least I kind of picked something from it. But I was remembering how, that we tend to go straight to the deities thinking, okay, but that is what I need for Krishna. But actually, Krishna did incarnate himself in Kali Yuga. He did take birth. And Krishna's birth in Kali Yuga is his holy name. And I was really, and I'm still trying to digest that comment, that point, is Krishna's birth is in the holy name, not in a baby form or the deity form. So I really had to really meditate. And I'm still trying to digest that point, Mother. It's really, really powerful for me.
Thank you for giving me something to digest on.
I'm still digesting, Mother. Like, whoa, never thought of it that way, never thought of it that way. So thank you for that. Any other questions from Devo? Yes, Krishna Smaranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. You said the holy name is in Kali Yuga. I mean, Krishna is born as holy name in this age. So does it mean the holy name was not there before Kali Yuga? I mean, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, every time there was holy name, right? So what is the difference? I mean, he is, of course, he is everywhere. But if he is born in this Kali Yuga as holy name, so was he also born in other yugas as his holy name?
I'll ask Mother Gita and Prishya to answer that, since they spoke about it.
You're the one who talked about it.
I was just sharing my realizations, Mother.
Peace, accept, and humble obeisances. All glory to the Prabhupada. No, the whole point about the holy name incarnating in Kali Yuga, the point was, I think the picture of the whole context and how the whole thing came about would probably make sense to talk about it. Krishna was here. Krishna was here in the Yadu dynasty. After the Kurukshetra war, he stayed a little longer. Then he wrapped up his whole activities. Even the Yadu dynasty, Dwarka, everything was finished. And so in the anxiety of people saying, but you are leaving to go back to the spiritual world. How are we going to go on without you? Then this whole point of, but Krishna is here now in his holy name, and Krishna is absolute. Therefore, his name is also Krishna. So he's everywhere, as you yourself pointed out, Krishna. He's everywhere, true enough, through the internal potency of the Paramatma. But he is personally not going to be in the earth after his pastimes. This is that time that he was leaving. But he leaves his holy name because his holy name is also him. And this is a whole discussion. This is how it came about. That Krishna incarnates in his holy name. Can there be other mantras, this holy name? Yes, of course, in different mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's also another mantra. So that's there. But in this Kali Yuga mantra, Lord Chaitanya told us, it's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, his name is there in different mantras in different ages and different forms of worship. This particular one is the degraded age where, mantra is what's going to basically get us going back to Godhead, especially the mantra. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. That was powerful. Thank you so much. Any other questions from devotees? Anything that you would like to ask? You would like to clarify? Any doubts? Please do unmute yourself. It's such a wonderful class. Really meditating on the faith. And I really like that Pastor Mother that you sent on Ranti Dev. And you're so right, like we wait to break our fast the very next day. And we are so busy looking for the break fast time too, And then there are some of us like me that cooking on Ekadasi is like Hare Krishna. It's like you have to do like 3 times thinking and planning because it's so austere. And every time I have to think to cook on Ekadasi, I can feel the austerity. I say, Krishna, this is really austere. You're really making me be, like it's and really thinking of how austere it is, and makes me realize how much the planning it takes to make that Ekadasi is so austere makes us become so focused into it, to do it the right way, because it's such an austerity to plan the cooking and everything on Ekadasi. So thank you for sharing that, Mother, too. Very, very nice point too. And yes, and if there isn't any points, any questions, we thank you all so much for joining us. And Mother Gita, we are so happy that you're back online, because we really missed you for 1 month. And we always look forward to your classes. And we thank all the devotees for joining us. Vanchakaptibhyascha kripasindhabeva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.